Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, finally back in my studio, recovering from a sickness. I'm still not 100%. Feel much better. We had a great time at Disney, but man, it was either Friday or Saturday. I think it was late Friday. Some type of bug hit me, and it hit me hard, so I'm still trying to recover from that. But crazy weekend, though. Crazy weekend, and, you know, I've already told y'all in a previous video, I tried to warn Ohio State fans and Alabama fans that there's a potential that they could lose and miss the playoffs. Now, Alabama did survive against Auburn, but now they have to play Georgia in the SEC Championship. I don't think Alabama's going to make the playoffs. And, of course, we already know that Ohio State, they flat out lost to Michigan, so they're not going to the playoffs. Here's a new AP Top 25. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Yeah, that's right. They're all the way up to number 2. Number 3, Cincinnati. They hang on to that spot. Number 4, Alabama. Number 5, Oklahoma State. 6, Notre Dame. 7, Ohio State. 8, Ole Miss. 9, Baylor. 10, Oregon. 11, Michigan State. 12, BYU. 13, Oklahoma. 14, Utah. 15, Iowa. 16, Houston. 17, Pitt. 18, Wake Forest. 19, San Diego State. 20, Louisiana. 21, NC State. 22, Clemson. 23, Arkansas. 24, Texas A&M. And 25, Kentucky. So yes, a lot of movement in the AP Top 25. I mean, you had Ohio State, they lost. Oklahoma lost on the road to Oklahoma State. Texas A&M got knocked off by LSU, so that loss for Alabama to Texas A&M looks even worse. And I keep trying to explain to Alabama fans, it's not that I'm an Alabama hater, it's you're not very good this year, just like 2019. Next year, you'll probably be elite again. But for this year, you're not a playoff team. The sooner you accept it, the easier this letdown will be. Otherwise, if the playoff committee gifts you into the playoffs, you're going to be the blowout that we see that happens every year. So here's what the championship matchups look like. And I'm going to include the AAC even though they're not a Power 5 conference. So, in the Pac12 Championship, we have Oregon versus Utah. Oregon is 10-2 and Utah is 9-3. And we already know that Utah already dismantled Oregon 38-7. And the line has come out and Utah's only a 3-point favorite. Now, I get it. It's tough to beat a good team twice, but 38-7, that wasn't, you know, barely by the skin of their teeth. I think that line should be a little bit higher in the favor of Utah. The matchup even favors Utah, so I kind of disagree with that line. I would definitely lay the 3. In the AAC Championship, it's going to be Houston 11-1 at Cincinnati 12-0. Yeah, the AAC Championship game is played at an on-campus stadium. Whoever the better team is, whoever has the better record going into the championship game. And of course, that's Cincinnati. So they'll actually have home field advantage. I expect Cincinnati to win, and I expect Cincinnati to make the playoffs, whether you like it or not. Now the ACC Championship. Pitt against Wake Forest. Both of these teams are 10-2. I think this is a great matchup. Pitt is the 3-point favorite. I think this could go either way. Honestly, I think Wake Forest will beat Pitt because Wake Forest can score pretty much at will. I know Pitt has a good offense and a decent defense, but I think the matchup overall favors Wake Forest. That's going to be a great championship game to watch. The Big 12 Championship. This actually has playoff implications. Baylor against Oklahoma State. Baylor is 10-2. Oklahoma State 11-1. I do think if Oklahoma State wins this game, they have a great shot of making it to the playoffs. I still don't think they would be a lock, but the chances of Oklahoma State making the playoffs would be really good if they won that game. Then there's the Big 10 Championship. Michigan and Iowa. Michigan is 11-1 after that great win over Ohio State. Iowa's 10-2. This also has playoff implications. If Michigan wins this game, they are in the playoffs, no doubt. And the line has opened up as a 10.5-point favorite for Michigan. Man, if you would have told me that Michigan would be headed to the playoffs or at least one game away from headed to the playoffs, I would have laughed at you at the beginning of the season. But Jim Harbaugh, he's really turned it around. People were saying, you know, he changed the culture from a NFL-type culture to an actual college culture. Apparently, that's made a really big difference. So, Michigan, one game away from making the playoffs. That kind of blows my mind. And finally, the SEC Championship. This also has playoff implications. Georgia 12-0 against Alabama 11-1. Georgia only a 6.5-point favorite. Look, y'all can make it look like that this is going to be a competitive game, but it's not going to. I mean, I know Vegas 6.5. Oh, this. No. Vegas has this wrong. I'm going to lay those 6.5. Not even think about it. I think Georgia beats Alabama by 3 touchdowns. Oh, but Golden Blue Dude, history's in the favor of Alabama. Yeah, guess what? History was in the favor of Ohio State. What happened? Michigan beat Ohio State. History doesn't matter right now. What matters is who's the better team. And right now, Georgia by far is the better team. And Georgia will embarrass Alabama. Alabama will wish that they had not even made it to the SEC Championship. They'll probably get a New Year's Six bowl and maybe get a good win out of that. But they better be thankful that they're not going to make the playoffs, because they would get blown out twice in a row, because Georgia will blow out Alabama. And I saw one of these comments in my video from the one that I made the other day. Golden Blue Dude, that's what championship teams do. They find a way to win. I agree with that, but championship teams don't struggle. And that's what Alabama has done. Yes, they found a way to win over lesser opponents, but they've struggled. You forget to add that last part in. They've struggled. That matters. And Georgia will exploit those struggles, and Georgia will embarrass Alabama on a national stage. So you can play the history card all you want, but it's not going to help you once you have to play Georgia. So still, a lot of things at stake. A lot of things haven't been decided. It does look like Cincinnati will make the playoffs, even though a lot of people don't like that, including the playoff committee. I don't think they want Cincinnati in. They're going to try to find every avenue possible, but it looks like the cards are falling in the favor of Cincinnati. And don't count out Notre Dame either. They're just one loss, maybe an Alabama loss to Georgia away from getting in as well. It might be tight between Oklahoma State and Notre Dame if Oklahoma State wins the Big 12 Championship. But really, it's that Georgia beating Alabama, which I think is definitely going to happen. So don't discount the Irish. They're still in this too. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.